It is only when we truly know and understand we have limited time on earth, and we have no way of knowing when our time is up, that we will begin to live each day to the fullest, as if it were the only one we have. "20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. The purpose of life, after all, is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for a newer and richer experience. To those who stay put, the world is but an imaginary place. But to the movers, the makers, and the shakers, the world is all around, an endless invitation. So the only question left to ask yourself is, where should you go now?"
Good morning. I love that video. I just can't get enough of it. And I love that question at the end, like, where should you go now? Welcome to the Morning Motivation and happy Friday. And feel free to let me know where you are chiming in from. We have people all over the world. We're part of an entrepreneurial community, and I love to see, we have people from Sweden and Australia and Spain and all over the US. So feel free as we go through the show to drop in where you are calling in from. And if you're watching the replay, you can note that as well. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt stuck? Like maybe stuck in a relationship, stuck in a job, stuck in business? We're actually going to be talking about that today and how to get yourself past the stuck with some progressive thinking. Quite often, we remain in a situation because we haven't yet developed the skill of progressive thinking. We're just so used to looking at the past. We're so used to looking at what's happened in the past that we haven't developed the skill to move ourselves into the future. So today we're going to be talking about 8 traits of progressive thinkers, and I'm going to actually be sharing a little quiz at the end. Who likes to do those little self-development, personal development quizzes? I'm going to actually do a quiz at the end. There's no, right or wrong. You pass, you fail. It's just something for you to evaluate yourself. And for those of you who don't know me, I am Debbie Morton, and I have felt stuck in relationships, and I have felt stuck in jobs. And I have felt stuck in brick and mortar businesses that I've owned. And I have felt stuck in network marketing companies and businesses that I was building. And I felt stuck because I lacked an awareness of what it took to have the success that I wanted. I lacked the skills of progressive thinking that could move me out of the stuck and get me moving forward. There's 2 types of thinkers. There is the status quo thinker. Everything is okay. Let's not upset the apple cart. And, I don't really like it, but it's all I know. Oh, I don't want to step outside the box. That could be risky. I could fail. So the status quo thinkers never really move themselves forward because they can always, pull something out of their mindset that keeps them in the stuck. But they're okay with stuck because stuck is kind of familiar to them. And then you have your progressive thinkers. You have the progressive thinker who thinks, there's always room for improvement. In everything they do, they're thinking out of, how can I get this done better? How can I get this done faster? Is there something that's not working? And if it's not working, what can I learn from that so that I can make some adjustments so I can get it working? Progressive thinkers are always looking at, like, where do they want to be and figuring out how they're going to get there. Instead of focusing on the past, they're always focused on what's ahead. And with that, I'm going to talk about 8 habits of highly progressive people. And the reason I want to share this is I'm going to be saying this and you're like, oh yeah, I know that. But I want you to just kind of like reflect and think and just always keep in your mind an awareness of these things, because it's really easy to slip back into the status quo thinking. And in order to stay in the progressive thinking, you have to be constantly aware of these 8 habits. And there's probably a lot more, but I want to focus on 8 of them here. Number 1, they accept responsibility. They don't make excuses and they don't place blame. And they know that if something's not working, it's up to them to figure out what has to be fixed so that they can get moving forward. I'm sure you've all heard that saying, like when you point a finger at somebody else, there's 3 of them pointing back at you, right? And yet so often we're so quick to point blame. I posted on my Facebook newsfeed the other day about I was caught in a storm in Louisiana. It was actually the tail end of a hurricane that was going through. And both my husband and our umbrellas were just completely mutilated. And now I could have blamed the storm for like damaging that umbrella. Like, oh my gosh, the winds were so bad, it wrecked my umbrella. But the fact is, it's my responsibility. I'm the one who put the umbrella up in the storm. I'm the one who decided to like, okay, let's see, let's see what this umbrella's got. Let's see if it can manage the winds. I'm the one who, when we left the restaurant, which was a couple of miles away from our resort, I'm the one who, when we left the restaurant, we had an opportunity to hop on a cable car. And I'm thinking, I love walking in there. I love a good storm. Anybody who knows me I love a good storm. And it was just kind of starting. It's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so fun. Let's walk home in the storm. Well, the storm got really bad really fast. And there we were in the middle of this like high winds, high rain, gusting. It was huge. And our umbrellas got damaged. It wasn't the storm's fault. It was mine. It wasn't because there was wind and rain that my umbrella got damaged. It was the fact that I put the umbrella up inside of that rainstorm. In business, at times when was feeling stuck, I had a mentor who said to me, you can't complain about that which you permit. So I started reflecting on all the different times that I was stuck, all the different times that I was stuck in my relationship, stuck in my job, stuck in my business, stuck in a network marketing company that wasn't serving me, stuck in different situations, my own coaching program. Like at times when I felt stuck, what was it that I was permitting that kept me there? So think about that in your own life. If you're feeling stuck somewhere, like what is it that you're permitting? Progressive thinkers look for the best in other people. Have you ever been around people that are just negative Nillies? They're always complaining about somebody. They're always pointing out the flaws in somebody. They're always thinking that, well, first of all, they're masters at putting other people down. They're paranoid that everybody else is out to get them. Progressive thinkers are always looking for the positive in other people. They're always looking, even if there's something that maybe is rubbing them wrong, instead of focusing on that trait, it's like maybe look at the world through their perspective. What is causing them to be that way? And what is the good that we can find in them and nurture in them to help them become the best that they can be? Progressive thinkers are always looking for the good in people and not the bad. Progressive thinkers focus on solutions. They don't see failure at all. What they encounter when something's not working out right isn't failure. It's another opportunity to learn of what maybe I shouldn't do in the future, or what didn't work. What are the different adjustments that I have to make? They're always using anything that most people might consider as a failure as a learning opportunity that's going to move them that much closer to their goals. They love using that creative and practical thinking so that they can find solutions to the difficult problems. Progressive thinkers learn how to ask the right questions. They learn to ask questions like, okay, something didn't go as planned. What could I have done different? I want to be able to better serve my team. What can I do to better serve my team? I want to be a better boss for my employees. What could I do to be a better boss for my employees? I want my family to have financial freedom, 2, 5 years from now, 1 year from now. What do I need to do to be able to provide that for them? They're always asking those questions, because if the questions you're asking yourself are, why is this always happening to me? Why does this stuff always, come up in my life? Why don't I ever get the breaks? If those are the questions that you're asking yourself, you're going to stay stuck in that situation. You have to learn to ask yourself the right questions that are keeping you out of Stuckville and moving you forward. I had an opportunity recently to be in a high-level mastermind program. Actually, I've been in several, high-level mastermind programs over the course of about the last 5 years. And with each one, the first thing that came up for me is, can I do this? Is this going to be hard? What kind of time commitment is going to be? I like to travel. Am I going to be able to do this if I travel? And I would start to get my mind in the place of thinking why I shouldn't be in that program or why it might not work for me. And each time I had to stop that thinking and say, I know that this is the right place for me. How am I going to make it work? How am I going to afford it? How am I going to carve out the time? How am I going to make it work with my lifestyle? Those are the right questions that kept me moving forward so that I could be here with you today. Progressive thinkers, they listen. They're not dogmatic. They're not dictators. They want a certain outcome, and they know that if they can get input from others around them, they're going to be better equipped to make the decisions that can serve their vision and their community better. Napoleon Hill talks about mastermind communities in his book, Think and Grow Rich. There is so much power in surrounding yourself with people who are better than you, who are where you want to be. I think it's Jim Rohn who said, you're the average of the 5 people that you hang around with. Not only hang around with them, listen to them. Ask them questions and hear what they're saying. Progressive thinkers are never just doing things on their own. They're always getting input from those around them. Progressive thinkers adapt. When a captain of a sailboat puts his boat in the water, let's say he puts his boat in the water in Long Beach, California, and he's going to sail to Mexico, to Encinitas, Mexico. And he puts that boat in the water and he puts up his sails. He doesn't just sit in the back of the boat and like hang out and eat snacks and listen to the radio. He is constantly adapting to the conditions. There's conditions where, the current is going one way, the wind is going one way, and they're constantly moving the sails. The captain of that boat is looking at the destination. He knows that that boat has to end up in a certain place, but to end up in a certain place, he has to constantly be monitoring what's going on around him, what are the conditions, and making those minor adjustments. He keeps the goal in mind and makes those changes as necessary to get to that goal. Progressive thinkers decide to wake up early. In the morning, you can get so much done. They realize that they can get so much done in the morning. In our community, we talk about a power list and 5 things that you commit to doing every day to move your business forward. Well, if I get that power list done early in the day, I've won the day. But if I start to wait, I know that the demands of the day are going to start chipping away at my time. So progressive thinkers are always getting up early so that they can start the day, they can do their meditation, they can write in their gratitude journal, they can do some of the different action steps, get their exercise in. They get up early to plan the day and make the day work for them. Progressive thinkers retain their values. They know what they stand for, and they don't compromise their standards. Their values are the compass that guide them and direct them toward their goals. And I'll share a little story. Many years ago, I owned a metal finishing shop. It was a powder coating shop where we would spray parts with a powder, bake it in the oven, and it's a very durable finish. Your bicycles, your bumpers on your car, many of those things are powder coated. It's a very durable finish. My values and my commitment to my clients was that nothing left my shop without it being the best of the best. And with that, there were times when we messed something up. We put too much powder and it dripped, or, there was some contamination and we had fish eyes over everything. And it wasn't easy to correct that. It wasn't easy to correct that durable of a finish. Sometimes I had to drive the parts 1 hour into another city so that it could be put into a dunk tank that burned the powder off so I could start from scratch. And yet, I would never let a part leave my shop if I knew it wasn't to the standards that I set. And because of that, our shop had a reputation for being one of the best powder coating shops in all of Southern California. We had people who would drive their parts from Nevada to us because I never compromised those values. my integrity, my values, they always remained intact. And progressive thinkers know that to get to where they want to be, they have to maintain a set of values. So are you ready for a checklist? I am going to go through several different topics. And as I ask these questions, you can put them in the chat if you want, or you can just write them down on a piece of paper. And here's the thing, there is no, I'm not going to say like there's no grading system at the end. I'm not going to ask you to total up anything. We'll talk about what you're going to do with these answers at the end. But I want to ask these questions because I want to get you thinking about whether or not you presently are that progressive thinker. So starting in work or in business, many of you might be in a job, you might have a business. In your work or your business atmosphere, ask yourself, do I approach every project or task with a how can I do this better attitude? How can I do this more efficiently? How can I do this faster? Do you approach every situation with that how can I do it better attitude? Do I praise my company, the people in it, the products it sells, the service it provides at every opportunity? Am I always looking for the good in it so that I can give praise to it? Am I setting an excellent example for my subordinates, my associates, my team members? So inside work, ask yourself yes or no to those 3 questions. You can put a maybe 2. Family. Am I following a plan right now to improve my family's standard of living? Do I provide my family with a variety of stimulating activities outside the home? Do I take my family on trips? Do I take my family on different outings that they enjoy? Do I set an example of being a progressive thinker, and am I a supporter of progressive thinking for my children? In the category of myself, can I honestly say that I am a better person today than I was 6 months ago? Am I following an organized self-improvement program to increase my value to others? Do I have forward-looking goals? Have I set my goals 1 year in the future, 3 years in the future, 5 years in the future, my legacy? Do I have those forward-looking goals? Am I a positive influence for others around me, in my community, in my business? Am I a positive influence? Am I somebody that somebody looks at and says, I love their energy, I love their spirit? Community. Do I think progressively through my community? Have I done anything recently to contribute to a community? Whether it's a local community, your church community, an online community such as the one we're in. Have I done anything recently to contribute to my community? Do I boost community projects rather than complain or criticize about them? Do I speak well of others in my community and strive to lift them up? My recommendation is, if in your mind you were thinking a no or a maybe or I could do better, and I know I went through these kind of fast, if you didn't say an emphatic absolutely yes to every single one of them, I invite you to come back to this video and go through it again, stop it, think about it. And for each one of the no's or the maybes or maybe I could do better, I want you to think about that, write it down, and then start to ask yourself the questions. How do I move that no, or how do I move that maybe into the yes column? What are the things that I need to do to move a no or a maybe into the yes column? If you want to learn the skills of being a more progressive thinker and a more progressive entrepreneur, if you want to create the life of freedom so that you can take your family to amazing places, take them out to the amusement parks whenever they want to go. If you want to become a progressive thinker in life and in business, then I want to invite you to reach out to the person who shared this video with you, because we're part of the Young Entrepreneur Project, and our goal is to help entrepreneurs succeed in business. And that's whether you already have a business, you're in business, maybe you're a solopreneur, or you actually have a business that can generate income on its own and you want to take it to the next level. Maybe, maybe you have some different goals, some life skills that you want to learn so that you can generate income just on your own, no matter what's happening in business. Inside of the Young Entrepreneur Goal, let me say that again. Inside of the Young Entrepreneur Group, our goal is to help you succeed. And we provide the mentorship, the tools, the strategies, training, community, everything that you need to move you forward in business. Everything that you need so that you don't have to do entrepreneurship alone. I know when I had my brick and mortar businesses, and I know that when I was in network marketing, and I know that when I had a coaching business, and all of those different things, there were so many times that I just felt alone. I just wanted somebody that had been there, done that, and had the answers that I could tap into. There are a lot of people in life that are professional learners. They learn and they learn and they learn and they learn and then they teach, but they don't actually do. And here's the cool thing: inside of the Young Entrepreneur Project, you're going to be connected with people who have actually done the do. And so they are qualified to teach. And so if this is something that you would like to move forward in business, you would like to have some of the tools and the strategies, I invite you to reach out to the person who shared this video with you. I want to say right now that I'm honored that you spent this time with me. And I hope that you got some little nuggets out of it that you can move forward. And I want to say to you, I am so proud of who you are for showing up even and watching this. It tells me that you want something more for yourself. It tells me that you have something in you and you want something more because you're taking time to watch something that these morning motivations are all about personal development. And you're taking the time for yourself for personal development. And that means that you're reaching into yourself and finding that greatness and pulling the greatness out. And I want to commend you on that. So with that, I wish you a wonderful weekend, and I hope you have massive success going forward. Bye, everyone.